If you have your South Node in Leo in your astrological birth chart and your North Node therefore in Aquarius, then your highest path to growth in this lifetime is to innovate and individuate. And in today's video, I'm going to break down everything that you need to know about having this North Node South Node combination, what your soul's purpose is, and how you can start tapping into your North Node so that you can manifest success and live your soul's purpose. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabelle, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we're talking about what it means to have your South Node in the sign of Leo and therefore always as a direct opposite your North Node in the sign of Aquarius. If you have no idea what it means to have this placement, but you are familiar with what the North Node and South Node are in your birth chart, this video is meant for you. I did a video series with my sister a long time ago talking about every single North and South Node placement, but I felt inspired to redo this series and talk about each North Node and South Node combination as I've developed my knowledge and understanding of these North Node, South Node combinations over the years, and even more so as I've seen that your North and South Node are arguably the most important part of your chart. They are the key to understanding what your purpose is, overcoming your struggles in life, and aligning with a sense of purpose, meaning, and authenticity in this lifetime. So understanding your North and South Node is essential to living a fulfilling life, in my personal opinion. However, that is just an opinion. And if you are someone who wants to dive deeper into what exactly it means to have your unique North and South Node placement and how this plays out with the rest of your chart, as this is all relational, I invite you to book a reading in the description box below. There is a link to book a reading, either half hour long or 1 hour long. I will hopefully also remember to put in the card up above. For today's video, I am not going to recap what the North and South Node are specifically because I don't want to take too much time talking about this, and I do want to get through this entire video series. If you want a deeper dive into what the North and South Node represent in astrology, please let me know in the comments below, and I will create a follow-up video talking about just what the North and South Node represent. This video is specifically for those who have a South Node in Leo and North Node in Aquarius, regardless of the house it is in. This will apply to you, what your soul's purpose is, how this plays out for you, what you may experience in your life, and some of the major words for transformation is how I'm going to structure this video, meaning you're moving from blank traits towards blank traits. And I'm going to be talking about what it means to have this North and South Node placement, giving contrasting words. This might not make sense to you at first glance, but let's just dive in and it'll start to make sense. The first aspect that comes to mind with having your South Node in Leo and North Node in Aquarius is moving from passion to detachment. As I always say, the South Node is the traits and qualities that are overused, but are talents of ours. But we do have to move away from them. We are growing into the North Node traits of Aquarius. So for those who have a South Node in Leo, North Node Aquarius, you may have a naturally passionate personality, whether that's enthusiasm with friend groups, enthusiasm with your relationships, enthusiasm and passion at work. You just have a very invested, fiery personality about something. You have passion about things. You want to be fully immersed. Think of Leo, the fire sign, or the sun, just so warm, so radiant, so invested and intense. You have a gift and talent for passion. However, it may be overused to the point where you maybe feels like you're throwing your passion onto people. This is a common narrative I notice for people who have a South Node in Leo. They feel like their passion is too much for other people, or their passions take them off track in their own life, and they always feel like they're chasing the next passionate thing, and they never quite feel a sense of satiation, even if they're always pursuing fun, play, passion, excitement in their lives. And so part of your highest path to growth, South Node in Leo, North Node Aquarius, is to move from passion to detachment in a healthy dose. What exactly does that mean? You may find that you find a level of satisfaction with life the more you practice detachment. You may think you need more passion oftentimes in your life when actually you need more detachment. What does detachment mean? Being able to observe in a neutral emotional state. Being able to watch the world from a more neutral emotional state. And actually choosing to be less invested in things in a certain field of your life rather than trying to put more into it. What this commonly can play out as for many people who I've noticed who have this placement is in relationships, choosing to be more detached from expectations from their partner. Specifically in, you know what, you don't need to share the same level of passion as I do. Or maybe it's in career. Some North Node in Aquarians oftentimes feel like they have to detach from how passionate they are about their career, and they find more fulfillment by choosing a career they're less passionate about and channeling their passion into different areas of life. Basically, the concept that to overgeneralize that can play out for the North Node in Aquarius and South Node in Leo is trying to create a party out of everything. Does this resonate for you as a North Node in Aquarius? I would love to hear down in the comments below. But it may feel like you're always trying to amp things up. You're trying to turn things up to 11 in every area of your life, when actually turning down the volume, creating more space in your life can actually be very fulfilling. The interesting dynamic here is that this is moving from fire energy to air energy. So moving from energetic intensity, fiery passion, fiery energy and emotions, and more into your mind. So how can you try to step even into, simply put, more detachment by observing your mind more? Mindfulness really does oftentimes help the North Node in Aquarius as well in this context. Secondarily, moving from dopamine to altruism is a major trait for those who have a North Node in Aquarius. Now, these are just words I intuitively chose. I'm sure there's those out there who would choose better words, but the concept here that I'm getting at, I commonly see for the North Node in Aquarius is you may have a natural knack for knowing what is going to feel best at any given moment in time. After all fire signs are naturally attuned to the I, to the self, and to what you need and desire. Your desire runs high. And so those who have a South Node in Leo can naturally attune to, this is what I want. This is what sounds fun, sounds nice, sounds easy. And I use the word dopamine specifically because fun is different for everyone. And so a South Node in Leo may not always be the stereotypical life of the party, though they commonly can be. But they also may just simply put be attuned to what feels nice and what sounds nice, whether that is indulging in social media, reading a book, going for a walk. They naturally are attuned to what sounds nice to them. And part of your highest path to growth as a North Node in Aquarius is to focus on the other. So simply put, we could have said this as selfishness to selflessness. But I don't want the South Node in Aquarians or South Node and Leos out there to feel like they are innately selfish, which is not necessarily the case. After all, you just have a natural ability to attune to what you desire. So a North Node in Aquarius is here to focus on more collective themes overall. What is best for the collective? What is best for others? How can I use my own abilities in service of humanity, society, community, or social groups? Third quality that often presents itself with the South Node in Leo, North Node Aquarius is moving from leadership to uplifting others. What do I mean by this? The Aquarius archetype sees that each individual has a special skill set. And oftentimes those who have this South Node placement find it easy to take on the center stage role in a certain field of their life. This could be in your family. You find it easy to be heard. This could be in your relationship. You tend to be the dominant person or dominant partner, often saying, this is what we're doing. In work, you could easily draw people's attentions. In career, or in community, you may find it easy to be the center of attention. This could play out in different ways, but naturally there's an innate leadership, center stage quality with the South Node in Leo, where you naturally draw attention your way with your confidence and your charisma, likely in some form or fashion. This could be a quieter leadership, or this could be the life of the party stereotype class clown. But regardless, leadership is your natural way of perceiving things, where if you see something that needs to be changed, or you see something that needs improvement, or something needs to get done, your natural thought is, well, why don't I just control it more? I need to lead here. I need to step up to the plate. I'm going to command other people and say, this is what we need to do. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to lead. I'm going to step into the leadership role, which is a good gift and talent. Once again, as the South Node is your gift and talent, but your highest path to growth does come from uplifting others. While you do have great leadership qualities that can be utilized, a lot of your soul's purpose is to start seeing the individuation and the unique talents and unique gifts within other people and uplifting that. A great example of this is my younger brother, who has this South Node, North Node placement, and he's naturally good at commanding the attention of a room, as he is a very loud, charismatic character. But also he has learned how to uplift other people's skill sets more and more and create spaces for them to own their own leadership abilities, basically. Whether that's in music, saying, hey, you're really good at playing the guitar. Do you want to play this riff and I will be the supporting role for you? Or if it's in a social setting and someone feels excluded, he knows how to highlight that person to bring them out. Basically, your role as a North Node in Aquarius is to bring other people out of their shell. How can you uplift others? How can you highlight their good qualities? Maybe you use leadership to do so, but just trying to bring the awareness and attention to others is one of your greatest gifts and purposes. It's basically that you're using your natural ability to be seen to then become reflecting that light onto other people. Imagine you are in the sun and the sun is shining on you. You're now taking a mirror and turning that light now to someone else. You have a reflective ability of attention is naturally drawn to you in some form or fashion, or leadership is drawn to you maybe in some form or fashion, or confidence. Even you feel a sense of empowerment in yourself, and you're now trying to create like a lifeline of that to other people. Kind of following up on the concept I've already touched on, I want to highlight the word spotlight to behind the scenes. Think of a play. A South Node in Leo may naturally be playing some form of role in their life in early years where they're very seen. Again, this can be any role of life, and this can be any sort of caricature or persona that you take on. You don't have to be the stereotypical, playful, charismatic Leo, but you naturally tend to go towards roles where you are seen, or it may feel like you're wanting a role where you are seen, whether that's in your career, your love life, your relationships. But part of your highest path to growth is to start seeing the value of doing work behind the scenes, and that you arguably can do a lot of your best work behind the scenes instead of having to be one of the actors in the play or even the orchestrator in the front row. You're instead working behind the scenes. You're the mic guy. You're drawing back the curtains. You're helping with costume changes. Asking yourself, how can I do work behind the scenes that isn't seen and therefore uplifts others, is part of your soul's purpose. For the final point that I will touch on for a North Node in Aquarius, I'm going to combine two word combinations that I have here, which is play to innovation, as well as fun to visions, because these are very similar in my view, and I think I can encompass them all in one. A South Node in Leo, as I already have touched on a lot, has a natural ability to focus on the here and now. They're very, very present signs. And so when you have a South Node in Leo, these people are naturally attuned to the present. But part of the Aquarius quality is seeing all the moving parts and innovating with them. So naturally, a South Node in Leo may have this ability to respond to their environment and create something off of it. Working with what they know they have, working with what they already see. This is why the stereotype goes that a South Node in Leo is the life of the party or the center of attention, because they work off of their immediate environment. They're very reactive in a positive way. But with having your North Node in Aquarius, innovation and vision creating, or creating big visions, being a visionary and an innovator, is part of your highest path to growth, meaning working off of potentials. Instead of saying, this is what I have, how can I work with it? Saying, what would I like to work with? How can I create something greater? How can I change the way of doing things in a certain field of life? Now, depending on the house that your North Node in Aquarius is in, will give you more ideas on where you're being called to innovate. But overall, focusing on what your idealistic vision for humanity would be in a certain field of life, potentially, whether that's, what is my vision for how the world should embrace relationships? What is my vision for how the world should accept creativity? What is my vision for how maybe we end world hunger? Maybe it's, how do I envision the ideal workplace being? You're called to create a vision instead of just focusing on the present. You have a natural attunement to the present and present indulgence and enjoyment, whether that's through pet play, seeking dopamine, passion chasing. You're naturally attuned to the present. And so to balance that, the North Node in Aquarius calls you to create and cultivate your vision for yourself and for humanity, and implement that in small steps. So creating a vision and then starting to innovate. Don't be afraid to walk to the beat of your own drum. Don't be afraid to do something different. Don't be afraid to try something that's a bit more challenging, that requires you to think harder and push society a bit more to be different. And being different specifically by example. In the end, the core qualities of having a South Node in Leo and a North Node in Aquarius highlights that you are naturally gifted and talented at being radiant, warm, joyful, passionate in a certain field of your life, and you tend to focus on your personal desire, which are beautiful gifts to embrace, whether that makes you a leader or a follower. But your highest path to growth begins, and your soul's purpose starts to really kick into high gear when you focus on innovation and individuation for humanity, cultivating your sense of detachment and seeing how that can actually create a greater sense of fulfillment. You may at times find yourself very disappointed in life, even though you seem to have all the pleasures accessible to you in the world, and you start to find a greater sense of enjoyment when you cultivate a sense of impact, innovation, and importance for humanity, rather than just seeking what feels like indulgence. And so I would love to hear down in the comments below, what house is your North Node in Aquarius in and South Node in Leo? Remembering that these are a direct opposite axis. And so if you have your South Node in 3rd house, your North Node has to be in the 9th house. If your South Node's in 4th house, your North Node has to be in the 10th house. Let me know what your placement is down in the comments below. Let me know if you like this video touching just a bit on what exactly the depth of meaning is of having this unique placement in your chart. And I will hopefully be doing a series covering all these North Node, South Node placements. However, it is going to be a slow process because there's so much to cover. And I really want to make sure that this derives the essence of what your North Node is all about. But I would love to hear your feedback if this resonated for you, if you wanted me to touch on more of the stereotypes and the basics of this placement, or if you feel like this opened your eyes to really what your North Node and South Node are about. Have you been lost in your journey? Have you felt like nothing's really resonated in understanding what this North Node placement's all about? I would love to hear your feedback down in the comments below. I would love to hear if this helps you. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars and more. Thank you guys so much for watching. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name's Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, namaste.